Jake, neither of us can believe there's 30 people waiting for us. We were doing all the details and we got lost talking football behind the scenes. But anywho, welcome back to Yankees Unloaded. As you notice here up top, we are now presented by Prize Picks. Major League Baseball is here. And as you guys know, Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching live sports. The app is easy to use. All you have to do is pick more or less on a few players. Used to do that in elementary school. All you have to do is pick those stats and you're well on your way winning cash prizes. Prize Picks is available in over 40 states. Sign up today. New user offers. It pays $5. You get $50 in your lineups. To download, please use the code HMA at sign up. Win or lose, you'll get $50 when you spend $5. We want to give a special shout out, Jake.
Yes.
To Prize Picks for, of course, sponsoring this podcast. And of course, even more importantly, since they've been with us for years now, is our audience. The people who listen to this show every night. We're here at the crack of dawn, and people are still waiting to listen to our podcast. We greatly appreciate all of our super chats to help support this channel for it to be a full-time channel. We really appreciate that, guys. So thank you. We obviously see Mark Ferrero. We see Dre. Thank you guys for being here. Your Yankees are 5-1. This is a special start. And I wanted to make sure, Jake, that we give credit where it's due, because I know that everyone at this point is trying to figure out, is Cam Schlittler, maybe is he not for real, but at what level are we actually watching this? This is the first pitcher in Yankees history to have 0 runs, 0 walks, and 15 Ks over any 2-game stretch. For this organization, all the players that we could list that have played in pinstripes, not one of them have accomplished what Cam Schlittler's accomplished. And that's with a pitch count limit, which we did learn, because we will discuss that about Aaron Boone pulling him early today. And apparently late start to spring training, working himself back slow makes a lot of sense. Obviously, I was beside myself when I saw it, but I was talked down from my ledge, thankfully, from our audience. And so, Jake, how are we feeling right now as far as Cam Schlittler goes? Because you were just talking about how this could be generational. That's the word you use. This could be shouldn't say a Hall of Fame-like trajectory, because that's a 20-year career. But have we seen a level past this point of what we see in this small sample size?
I mean, Gary, I don't think I've ever seen, and I said this the other day, but I really mean it, I don't think I've ever seen a Yankee pitcher look like this. And I know people compare Garrett Cole, but I think just even the mental makeup, I think Cole got rattled in that World Series, and we all saw it. I mean, nothing against him. That's what I saw. And with Cam Schlittler, I think he's unflappable. I don't think he's going to get rattled. I think he's just built differently. You listen to him, like the way he's talking, like how did I word it to you off air? He has the, like, the
I can tell you. You said he's
Jeter.
got the FU as well.
Well, he's got the FU. He reminds
that.
me, he's like an interior version of David Wells. He keeps it inside, because David Wells was a fiery pitcher.
Yes, he was.
And Jeter always had like that kind of inner arrogance to him, right? And that's not a bad thing. It's not me like throwing shade at him. He did. He wasn't going to be rah-rah about it, but he knew like what he was, and he knew what he was bringing to the table. And we saw it when, he had the famous quote, well, they're just the Mets. Like, so there you go. Like right there and there.
Perfect Jeter quote. He could have said whatever he wanted. And the way he said it was like, you guys are a joke, without saying you're a joke.
Exactly.
And that's something that Cam Schlittler seems to have. He's on the mound. There's no middle finger, get the F out of my batter's box, throwing the ball behind guys. You don't see that. He just gets on the mound and pounds the strike zone. 1-0-1, 0-2. He's not wasting any time with a waste pitch slider. You saw the pitch count today. He gets in the sixth inning. He's at 64, 65 pitches. You don't get to that point unless you're just pounding the strike zone all day. He wasn't afraid of anybody. Didn't care if it was J-Rod. Didn't care if it was Cal Raleigh. Didn't care if it was Brendan Donovan. Okay, you jump a fastball early in the game. I don't care. First pitch the next at bat is a heater up at your chest. Totally different mentality to the mound that we haven't seen in years. This is not Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole is a power fastball pitcher, arm side, and he's trying to tunnel that slider, I should say glove side rather, and trying to tunnel that slider off of it so you can't differentiate which pitch you're seeing. Totally different arm here with Cam Schlittler. A sinker, power sinker, four-seam fastball up in the zone. Their point of attack, this is something unique. I don't think people quite understand what they're seeing just yet. I'm sure some do. But as it goes on and we go back into the postseason and people start to see which arms does Aaron Boone trust under pressure? Which arms are we choosing to put in which order on the road in some of these big games? I can promise you guys, Aaron Boone would throw the ball. It's either Garrett Cole or Cam Schlittler. And you have to imagine off of Tommy John surgery, this is Cam's rotation at that point. I know we saw some of the reports, Jake, about Paul Skenes and some of the opportunity there. We'll talk about that later this episode. But this is a star. I'm comfortable saying Cam Schlittler is a star who is not even 20 games into his career. We're seeing something historic. And it just so happens to come right out of the Yankees system that, Jake, you've been talking about has taken a turn for the positive here. Finally, the Yankees have developed a player that could be here for 2 decades.
I agree with all of that. I just have to point this out real quick.
Go ahead.
This is generational.
No damn way.
He's back.
Cheeks, where you been, my guy? Unbelievable. Now, mind you, no way you've heard this, known this in any way. I'm not sure if someone's messaged you. Glad you got the notification. But we've talked about you, believe it or not, 40 times since the last time you joined this podcast.
More.
So maybe more.
You've been a staple
really
of
appreciate
this
you
podcast,
being back.
And you just haven't even been around. So
yeah.
Hey, I am back, my peeps. There we go. Just
Dude
had to go
every
live
day.
He
was our third down running back, and then all of a sudden he retired on us.
Yeah, he was. What's his name? Darius Slay. They're just like, oh yeah, sick. We're gonna rely on this veteran. See ya.
Yeah.
So
this is a great day. This is a great day. So Cheeks, welcome back to the program. We really appreciate it.
Lord of the Cheeks, return of the Cheeks. How about that?
Yeah, I think our audience is pretty happy.
Yeah. Well, all right. So if you're new here, that's Yankees Unloaded. We're going to have our little quirky moments because we also have a lot of the analysis that we like to do. And the thing about Cam Schlittler that I find so impressive is it's the consistency. So I'm looking at a player who had 13 whiffs today. He had 13 whiffs the last game. The last game he pitched was in San Francisco. Okay? This game's in Seattle. Oh, by the way, the time before that, as you brought up, was in cold weather, and he was great. So the good news is that he feels weatherproof. We'll just say that, because I don't necessarily know how many pitchers are truly that level. He just has really repeatable mechanics, and he's just so consistent. And the thing that's crazy is on top of the consistency, he's not sacrificing any of that to get better. See, a lot of times, like, guys will be like, they're in the kind of their comfort zone. They have the pitches they're going to throw. They've said it on the broadcast so many times. He's still working on other pitches. Okay. He wants to have them down the road in his arsenal, but he's not letting it affect him so much where he's not like, he's still the same pitcher.
He's not tinkering to the point. We saw Garrett Cole working with that cutter a few years back. It was a struggle in the process because he was really, okay, here's a cutter. I'll work that fastball the way you're seeing it. Okay, I miss with it. He'd go back to a 2-0 cutter and go middle. And there was some growing periods there where we had to see it in real time. Same thing with Rodon. We saw some growing periods where he said, I'm not really sure about the sinker. Didn't throw it often. It got hit hard when he threw it. But as the season wore on, you said, I can see how the sinker's really starting to open up things for him with his fastball. Cam Schlittler has figured out, yes, I'm going to work on the shape of that slider. We like it. It's not perfected. He's going with his bread and butter, and it's the fastball. He's not doing the Jameson Tyone thing, the Carlos Rodon thing, where it's just fastballs four seam up. This is an unpredictable fastball pitcher. Never really seen anything like this in my life. So, yeah, generational
That
fastball.
cutter. What did you say about that cutter?
I said, okay, I want to describe what I'm seeing because I'm curious to know if our audience saw the same thing. Anytime I would say Max Fried's a poor example because he doesn't really have a plan of attack. You're not really sure what he's throwing. So you kind of just assume he'll throw anything. But when you watch Rodon, when you watch Garrett Cole, right? When you watch a Will Warren, you know, coming into the game, I know how they like to work, what side of the plate they like to work, what pitch mix they like to work in. And after a while, by about 4 or 5 hitters, you go, okay, he just blew 101 mile an hour fastball right down the middle to Cal Raleigh. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, I wonder what's going to come off of that. He just blew him away. I wonder if he's going to work the sinker now. I wonder how that's going to look. And then the next thing you know, he throws a cutter that he didn't unveil at any point before it. And it almost disappears out of your line of sight. You're not expecting it in your TV view. And when hitting looks difficult on TV, it's impossible in real life. Impossible. So I do want to see the data on the cutter. I know, Jake, you sent me a text message of an actual spreadsheet of how good this cutter is. This cutter is moving what looks like 2 or 3 feet off of a pitch that guys are missing. J-Rod took some swings today. The ball was in the glove and above his bat, showing you the type of spin he's got out of his hand. Yeah, it's exciting to watch. This could be a player, Jake, I know you don't care about this, but this could be a player that possibly could represent the AL at the All-Star game. Hitters aren't close to picking him up just yet. It's going to take a good while here for them to make an adjustment.
So, by the way, the four-seamer, 11 out of 18 whiffs. Okay. He had 6 of 15 last game. And he used more of the cutter the last game, used more of just the regular four-seam fastball this time. But yeah, it really looks like it's that 3-pitch mix. You're going to have maybe 7 to 10 pitches are going to be the curveball, and he'll throw in a slider there for good measure. Yeah, I mean, what's not to like about Schlittler right now? I mean, he really, this is why we were talking about him being an ace. Like, this isn't just us jumping the gun. You brought it up to me off air when we were talking about this, you know, with no one, when we saw Paul Skenes pitch the first 3 games, we're like, all right, it's all I needed. Paul Skenes is him. Like, that's who he is, right? He's actually going to pan out. And it sounds crazy, and you can say, oh, it's too early, too soon, whatever. The only reason we say that really are the injuries. Because, I mean, if you go 3 games in a row, yeah, maybe they catch on to your stuff a little bit, but you've already shown me the baseline is so high. That's what we're working with. You're going to be fine. And Cam Schlittler was not perfect last year. He had a fantastic season, but he also had some slip-ups. And he, you know, has really bounced back from that. I mean, think about this. For his career, right, he has a 2.76 ERA in 17 or 16 games pitched. I mean, at some point or another, you just have to be honest with yourself. That's just who he is. That's who. How
long does he have to pitch necessarily for people to say this is just that, right? Paul Skenes went from,
I don't think,
pitched his first outing and they go, oh,
yeah,
that was historic. He was throwing 102 located with splinkers. You never heard of it?
That's the reality. It's the timing, Gary, because you have people on one side that they get overzealous, they get way ahead, they're way out in front of their skis, and it's like first 5 games, everything's exciting, you like the way it's going, and you start using hyperbolic terms. I guess to a degree maybe we're doing that, but I also think we can back it up. But there has to be a middle ground here. Like, you can't just be entirely, oh, it's only been 5 games, it doesn't matter. 2 starts I've seen from him, and he's looked absolutely superb. So it does matter. And oh, by the way, I don't care if it's early on in the year. It's been against the San Francisco Giants and the Seattle Mariners with no home field support, okay? He hasn't had the fans, right? He hasn't had the home crowd. He hasn't had the luxury of waking up and being in his home, you know, waking up in his own bed, right? He's been on the road for the first 2 starts, and he's been stellar. So I do believe this is repeatable. I believe he, right now, should be considered an early favorite up there with Scooble and, of course, Crochet to win the Cy Young. That's what I think.
Crochet was just knocked around. So not that it just slams the door open or shut or anything like that, because it's a long season. But starting off the season at this level, it's never been done before in our team's history. So pretty good start to your Cy Young campaign. Let's be real.
T-Fan, I just want to push back on this because Linsanity was like a month. This is beyond, like, this is who he is.
Well, can I ask you a question about Linsanity? Because obviously I'm glad that this was brought to the surface. This is a good thing when people we've got people on different sides of the fence here.
Of course.
Linsanity was playing regular season basketball and having, we just call it a Linsanity run. It's obviously now a figure of speech saying that you're having your 15 minutes in the sun. Okay. Well, when was the last time someone's 15 minutes in the sun happened in the postseason? I've rarely seen it, because last time I checked, the postseason is the most important season we have in this game. There's nothing else. You can show up, and you're talking about a game 7 type situation. Everyone was nervous coming into that game, regardless of how you felt of each team, regardless of the fact that Roman Anthony couldn't participate in that game. The reality is that Cam Schlittler showed up and proved, in my opinion, this is no Linsanity run that I was having before this. I am him. And I'm going to show you, when I show up to spring training, I'm not just what you saw, I'm something better. And what he showed you in his opening start, game 2 of our regular season, is that I'm not just the 2, I'm the best starter in this rotation. And when Garrett Cole shows up, he's going to prove the exact same thing. And that's just how this is going to go. So I'm honestly, I appreciate people saying, let's pump the brakes and let him finish this. But this is also a really good way to not enjoy anything you're watching. Because the reality is, when some all-time great pitchers, the Dwight Goodens, are pitching for the Mets in 85, people enjoyed the ride. They watched the first 2 or 3, 4 starts and they said, I think this might be something different. The umpires were talking about it, right? All the coverage, sports coverage was talking about it. And of course, local fans were covering it in a positive way, saying this is just special, and they accepted it as that. So I'm not telling you what to think, but Jake, glad you put it up there. There's a reason that hitters look as silly as they look. This isn't just a slow offense across the way. This is him walking into San Francisco, as you said, on the West Coast, a tough trip, going up to Seattle, a team we expect to be in the postseason. You said before we went live, this is 2 postseason teams, more than likely. Shows up and dominates. And now his next start's going to be at Yankee Stadium. I don't think there's any question that Cam Schlittler is now a player that we're penciling in at the top of this rotation. And I'm obviously glad that's happening. And we didn't, I guess, pull the trigger on that trade for, not that I'd have been upset to get Paul Skenes, because of course I wouldn't, but it's nice to maybe have both here in the near future.
Yeah. And by the way, to understand what we're talking about here, last year, and this is not a knock on him, he had 3 shutout outings. So 6 2/3, 6, and then 7 in the regular season. Of course, not including the postseason. He has 2 already in his first 2 starts. So just understand that he still hasn't pitched at Yankee Stadium. And I mean, he was really good at Yankee Stadium. I feel like he really kind of thrived off of that home crowd. So that does matter, Gary. Like I that's personally how I see it. I see it like that does matter. You know, him being at home, that mattered. The crazy thing though is, I guess if you look at his 2025 splits, he had a better ERA on the road. He had 3.12 at home, 2.76 on the road. He never won a game on the road because they didn't really give him a chance. But on top of that, this is also what makes Cam so dynamic here, is that you're talking about a pitcher here who didn't win a lot of games last year strictly because he wasn't economical enough to get through those innings.
He's like the opposite of that now.
He's totally the opposite. They have him on a pitch count, and he's gotten into the 7th inning in both games. Is that it? At least the 7th inning?
Yeah. And this is a guy that, of course, barring some type of Luis Heel like shut down towards the end of the season to get him ready for the postseason. It seems like he's well on his way. And I really respect what the Yankees are doing. Didn't know exactly that they were seeing. I wasn't privy to the information. They are, of course, running that pitch count with a late start. So people are going to be disappointed of when he's pulled out of games. This won't be an issue a month from now. So having said that, he's well on his way to pitching 180 to 200 innings. I mentioned in our opening episode on this podcast, someone has to do it. It's not going to be Garrett Cole off of Tommy John. Max Fried certainly can do it, and he's absolutely working on that cutter, getting more contact early in at-bats. Credit to him for doing that. But Max Fried's also shown that he hasn't necessarily been able to get over the hump to get to that 200-inning mark the way that we need for an ace to do and save this bullpen. Cam Schlittler seems like he's taking on that challenge just fine. He's taken on every challenge we've given him. So wanted to give him credit, and I've got to ask you, because I do see a super chat in here from Brian, who of course is in the Hall of Fame of super chats. And I have to imagine, Jake, you would agree here. Brian with the Baja Blast and the 2, thank you for supporting the channel, says Cam is now untouchable in any trade discussion. Not telling you, Jake, what to think. Is Cam Schlittler untouchable in a Paul Skenes trade? Is he untouchable for any player that becomes available? Obviously, barring a Shohei Ohtani or any of these players who we obviously know will never be traded. Is there any player in the league today outside of maybe the core 3 who are the best players in the league? Maybe Bobby Witt Jr., right? Some of those players. There's not a player that you can think of that might be available that you would ever trade Cam Schlittler for. No?
No, I mean, the only player, I wouldn't do it personally, but the only player it'd be straight up for Skenes. And that would be the argument. The Yankees could part with him if they really just felt like Skenes is just the more acceptable pitcher. Like, they would have to be the Yankees really looking inside of me like, you know what, we love Cam, but the ceiling, there's a risk. Maybe he, they feel like he could get injured, whatever. And they feel like Skenes, they have to bet on one or the other. You can't have them both. And the reason I say that is because if they were to trade him for Skenes straight up, now they don't have to give up the rest of their farm system, which that's not to hoard those guys. If anything, it's to make other moves. Because again, this is your currency. So that to me is the only way I could see the Yankees moving on from Cam. It would now have to be the discussion's no longer, yeah, we'll take Cam, we'll take Spencer Jones, we'll take George Lund. No.
That's what it was.
You'll take Cam because this trade would be Alex Rodriguez, Alfonso Soriano. Okay? Look, Alex Rodriguez was a better player than Alfonso Soriano. No one is debating that. Just like Paul Skenes is a better pitcher than Cam Schlittler. I don't think that's crazy to say.
It's not crazy to say. You're talking about a player that could go down as arguably the greatest pitcher of all time, and obviously he's got a long way to go. He's still young.
Yeah.
But Cam Schlittler just got here, and Paul Skenes didn't. Paul Skenes is a finished product that there's not going to be any, what could this be, right? And could it possibly be traded? No one in Pittsburgh is going to say, after the first year, would you trade him for fill in the blank best pitcher in the world? No, they didn't do that because they said, I think this is him. This is actually it. And mind you, I'm not really sure if Cam Schlittler is going to fill the shoes where you're like, oh, he's actually in the conversation for best pitcher in the world. But it's nice that we're even having the introductory of that conversation. That's how good Cam Schlittler's been. So yeah, if you're talking about receiving Paul Skenes, I would have a hard time saying no to putting anyone in this package because he's that good. But my God, I don't even want to have the, it makes my skin crawl even thinking about trading a player that I now no longer consider a prospect or player that we could fill in and give you this package. Cam Schlittler is just now an ace.
He's graduated. So, he's no longer.
He's graduated. So what am I really looking at when it comes to Paul Skenes?
Gary, how about this? How about this? Okay. The Yankees are paying $35 million to Garrett Cole. And Rodon,
36, I believe. Yeah.
36. Okay. Mm-hmm. Rodon and Cole are getting paid a lot.
Yep.
Stanton. This money is now, and obviously we wouldn't be talking about this if it was the Dodgers, but as the Yankees, this money isn't going to be there. Like, they're not going to be paying these guys that much money in a few years. And so that to me is why I wouldn't trade for Skenes if it meant getting rid of Cam Schlittler. The entire point of trading for Skenes, in my opinion, is to have a 1, 2, 3 of Cam, Skenes in any order that you want, and Fried. Because that would be the best 1, 2, 3 that we've seen. I don't know.
Certainly if Garrett Cole returns to form, then there you have it. But
Garrett Cole as well.
There's also people in our comment section. This is completely understandable, by the way. And people are saying, well, you, and I don't want to just steal it. So I will throw you up on screen. Then, of course, we're going to get to our super chat. We really appreciate it.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. You trade for him to get him now, right?
Yes.
But if I'm doing that, I'm not trading Cam Schlittler. Like, I'll give you more prospects and take that hit than giving you Cam Schlittler, because he's changed the conversation to the point that we were just discussing. It's now an A-Rod Soriano swap. It's no longer he's a part of a big deal. Okay. Like, this isn't Michael King. Okay. I understand some people may look at, well, Michael King, and there were a lot of players that were added. This is a completely different animal now. This is somebody you could justify if you traded him for Juan Soto. I think the team that got Juan Soto and the team that got Cam, you could argue the team that got Cam would be winning that trade. That's what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, because the
25 years old
control, but I mean, yes, the age. You're also talking about how cheap he is, because Paul Skenes is closer. He's much closer to getting his arbitration number the way that it's a little bit more comfortable for his camp. We're heading towards a lockout, which the expectation is that the players are expecting to ask for less team control, which wouldn't be good for the Yankees and their control of Cam Schlittler long-term if you lose some of those years on the front end of their deal. But I guess the point is that people saying they're going to wait for Paul Skenes as a free agent, it's great once you get there. But these years that lead us up until that point matter more for us than any other organization in the sport. We don't just get to wait for Paul Skenes, right? And I'm not telling you this is we need to make the trade now podcast. That's not what this is. But for those of you who are trying to figure out, if Paul Skenes ever becomes available, we'll just wait on him because we can pair him with Cam Schlittler. That's all great. That's all great. But Aaron Judge isn't 29 anymore. He's not 27. So we're on borrowed time, and people have to understand that sometimes you have to make tough calls, and that may look like keeping Cam Schlittler out of that deal and executing a trade for another big-time arm that might not be Paul Skenes. Or it could be unloading the rest of your heavily right-handed and power arm, right? Talking about a lot of our farm system and making a mega package and putting it together, leaving out Cam Schlittler and going to get a Paul Skenes or whoever else. The Yankees have some options here, and I believe the way that Cam's pitched, he's removed the prospect tag off of himself. He's just now a pencil in that any organization would want to put at the top of the rotation. The Yankees, I shouldn't call it lucky. They're just one of the teams that have finally developed and deserve a ton of credit. That includes Brian Cashman, right? As much as people don't want to give him credit, that includes a lot of these guys in our system that said, no, we don't want to include Cam Schlittler, right? When we were talking about, let's make a call for Paul Skenes, not including some of these names, it leads down this road sometimes. And that's where we are right now. So obviously want to tip my cap at least a little bit here to Brian Cashman so that people realize sometimes the best trade is not making a trade. And that's not what you want to hear last year. But when we get here today and you can toss the ball to our best arm in the organization, and it's a guy we didn't pay $40 million to yet, that feels good. So when you're the Yankees, it makes us that much more dangerous in free agency. When we haven't spent on every last bit of talent we've got in the room, it makes us good. So yeah, I wanted to get to our super.
I want to make it very clear. I'm for trading for Skenes to maximize Judge's window now. I'm not for trading Cam Schlittler of any. I would be down to trade any other prospect. I'm not like, I mean, don't get me wrong. You know how I feel about Spencer Jones, but there's not a prospect that I'm married to because of the emergence of Cam Schlittler. Like, LeGrand, I'm excited about, but I mean, if you have to trade him to get Skenes, Skenes is a sure thing. Like, if you wait, right? You wait and you sign Skenes, that's probably 3-4 years from now. Like, how does that help Judge now? But like,
It doesn't. I actually believe Tarek Skubal is a better fit, by the way. Just
really?
from the only reason I say it, and here's the reason why. Detroit, it's certainly possible that Detroit gets off to a slow start, right? You're talking about a team with 1 year of control, right? Everyone was shocked. I shouldn't say everyone, but when Juan Soto was offered $775 million to return to the Pinstripes, and people were like, oh, he just was you're talking about a two-headed attack with Aaron Judge. He's not going to leave that. It's the perfect situation. He's not in the spotlight. He's not really a leader. He loves New York. And he even said so himself during the WBC. But having said all of this, when you're talking about trading for Paul Skenes, it's now a waiting game. What Pittsburgh wants to do with this talent? Well, when you look around and say, who's closer to our win now approach? How about the player that reaches free agency in 6 months? How about that guy? Yeah. That's the reason we acquired Juan Soto in the first place. We didn't acquire Juan Soto because we sent some mega package. We sent Michael King and a couple of other fluff prospects. We have never acquired a player at the top of their market with years of control, any of that. The time that the Yankees strike is the time when essentially the star is at his least valuable point. The Marlins got rid of Giancarlo Stanton because they said, this isn't that valuable to our small market. We just gave him $300 million. The Marlins essentially pawned him off for free to the Yankees. That's why we got Giancarlo Stanton. We got Juan Soto because he was in the last year of his deal. It was a risk for us. We got close to winning a championship, Game 5 of the World Series. We lose. Now we're in the same situation. Yankees are in win now mode. Cam Schlittler is way ahead of schedule. Garrett Cole looks really good in his rehab assignments. He looks like he's becoming the Garrett Cole of old. Max Fried is really working himself in nicely. He's pitched beautifully so far. The bullpen looks solid, not great. You can absolutely say, looking across the American League, the Jays lose to Colorado in a series. This could be the time to be aggressive if you're the Yankees. And I just believe where Skenes is in his contract and where Skubal is in his contract, I believe Skubal actually is the best fit for the Yankees in their window.
I like that. It makes sense. I mean, the Yankees were always kind of the team that would get guys over the hill when they were known for that. And it's not that Skubal's over the hill, but he's not 23 like Skenes. Like Skubal's 29, and he'll be 30 next year. 30 in November
of
next
course.
season. So
it just requires one player going to get Skenes. If you get him via trade, you get him young. But if you wait on Skenes, Aaron Judge is probably out of his prime already at that point. So
yeah,
you have a simple choice. Do we reset with Cam and Paul Skenes?
Obviously, I think the Yankees are going to try, but it can't include Cam Schlittler. But I think they're going to try, and the reason being is they're kind of already like telling themselves we can win and we can rely on the guys that we have in the rotation, guys that are coming back. We don't need LeGrande. They've already kind of signaled to us we don't need him. Like, he's now a luxury. Even though it's a fun story and everything, we're not like... And he throws super hard. But it's just one of those things like where you're going to have to give him up. He's probably at the top of that deal. Spencer Jones, maybe Jason Dominguez, definitely George Lombard Jr. But it's like at this point, how good is Lombard Jr. really going to be? Defensively, he's going to be great, but like, doesn't it feel like he's just a better version of Anthony Volpe, like a really good defensive player?
The question, we just don't know how good any of these players are.
Yeah, we don't
right?
really
know. That's
That's
the obvious. But for a win now organization, does it really matter that you held on to the prospect and then Aaron Judge leaves his prime and you're like, hey, look, we've got this other shiny toy who's ready to play? And it's like, okay, well, awesome. He's going to give us less than Aaron Judge gave us, obviously. He's not going to be the best right-handed bat arguably in the history of the game. And now we're outside of Judge's window and what we enter into the George Lombard Jr., Cam Schlittler, right? LeGrande role. Like, is that the next step for the Yankees? In my opinion, the Yankees shouldn't be looking for the next step. They should be looking for the step. And where's the launching point to actually becoming a contender to win a title? The Yankees need to be figuring out who to pair with Cam Schlittler, who to pair in this rotation, and figure out how to get Aaron Judge on the field for a winner. That's the goal here. It's not how to make the Yankees a winner in 4 years, how to make the best pairing in five years for the next decade. It's none of those things. It's how do we win a championship? And I think if we always keep that at the forefront, we'll be okay. And I think your point, Jake, about never trading Cam Schlittler, that would be the case. If that's their goal, Cam Schlittler would be here. So Brian says that Cam is on the same level. Thank you for the two with Scooble and Skenes. I'm not sure what to say about this. As far as how he's performing, if Paul Skenes was on the mound for the Yankees right now, it wouldn't look really any different than it looks with Cam right now, because he's reached that level. But this is in the short term, something that's happened for 3 or 4 starts consecutively. Of course, we want to see what it looks like 20 starts from now. Does it look the same? Obviously, if he does, we know we're looking at Doc Gooden reincarnated. But well, really appreciate the super.
How about this? How about this one? This is a good comment from Toronto.
Yeah.
Do they need Judge to win a World Series? Call me crazy, maybe not. Skenes and Schlittler for the next 7+ years would be special. And then there's one before that. Pairing Skenes and Schlittler basically guarantees you contention for the next 5+ years, at least, with or without Judge, in my opinion.
Okay.
It's interesting because, I mean, we're kind of seeing, it's early on in the season, but Aaron Judge is the worst hitter in this lineup right now. And that said, they're 5-1. Now, obviously, to act like Judge isn't needed, I think he's the best hitter in the game. You know, I'm not going to do that. But it does bring up a good point. We've talked about it. Like, the Yankees have been a pitcher-heavy, focused team. You know, they've really started to lean on their pitching. And it's one of those things like where if you have Skenes, Schlittler, that also means, by the way, you have Max Fried. It also means you have Garrett Cole and Rodon. Like, at that point, that's your starting 5. You have other guys in the minor leagues because you can't trade everybody away for Skenes. Like, they literally won't let you put a trade together that trades away your entire farm system. They
probably would try.
Yeah. My feeling is there's enough there that, like, you might not be able to score as much. Like, your offensive potential goes way down. Like, your the high upside without Judge. But at the same time, that pitching in the defense, much improved. Like, it would still, they'd be contenders. And the crazy thing is now we're talking about the postseason where games are won and lost 2-1, 3-2, right? And now, you got Cam Schlittler, you got Paul Skenes, and, one of Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, and Max Fried.
No one can match it.
So I honestly see what Toronto's saying, and I think it's just one of those things where we're just going to have to wait and see what that looks like post-Judge. Like, I honestly am not in a hurry to see that, but I just know that the Yankees are just never going to be bad. That's one thing I know, because even at their worst, and that team was not good when Judge went down, they still won 82 games. They're never going to be like horrifically bad.
No, we'll never. Our baseline is far too high. And this is, of course, good for Hal Steinbrenner. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but when Brian Cashman puts together a team, we can say what we want about our ceiling. Our floor is high. And now that you see what Cam's doing, what you see what LeGrand is doing, our floor is incredibly high. And I want to transition this conversation to what happened today in the game with Ben Rice, because Ben Rice had a huge homer in tonight's game, or I guess earlier today. And I want to point out the fact that kind of an earlier point I talked about in the second episode of the year, I talked about luck and the whole concept. People have made luck way too much of a conversation when it comes to hitters in today's game. We've talked about exit velocity. We've talked about launch angle. We've talked about being on plane. And we've also talked about shifts. Shifts actually happens to be the most important aspect of luck, in my opinion, watching baseball. When you watch Ben Rice last season, he was hitting rockets straight into shifts, right? Hitting balls straight at second base, right over the pitcher's head, straight into a pull-heavy shift. And we would simply watch him walk back to the dugout and they go, damn, Ben Rice should be having a much better season than what he's having. And Jake, I was pretty consistent when I said they're probably right. It should be a little better than what it is now, but he doesn't deserve that much credit. This is not hit the ball hard and go back to the dugout. This is baseball where it is fairly unfair. You need to partly make your own luck. And I believe some of the adjustment that Ben Rice is underway, he's actually helped his own luck. Some of what you saw in the opening series, you say, okay, he's playing the Giants, very pull heavy shifts. You see him go the other way in multiple games, and he sees luck as it was brought up on the broadcast. Oh, some balls actually fell for him. Good to see. Then you see the Seattle series where they were playing him more of a straight up, right? He was playing more straight up, and he happens to pull the ball down the right field line today, something he typically would like to do, and he's rewarded with an RBI double. The point is, him now as a hitter, you can see him developing and reading the defense like a quarterback would. What are they giving up right now? Are they playing the lines and playing no doubles? I can't hit the ball 110 over there. I have to play what they're giving. And I think that tiny adjustment is going to make Ben Rice turn from a 250 hitter that we believe is almost like this hybrid supreme version of Brandon Belt. He's got good bat to ball skills, doesn't like to strike out. He takes pride in that. He's got pop, but he could turn himself into a Cody Bellinger-esque type guy, a 280 guy, a contact guy that we trust in October. So absolutely love the development of removing this luck conversation and making your own luck. I think it's an amazing precedent to set for our young players.
Yeah, no, I think so too. Look, when I watch Ben Rice, I see a guy who's locked in right now, okay? And it's the start of the season. And, I also see Cam Schlittler, who's locked in right now. You're starting to see the next era of Yankees baseball right in front of us, right? This is the sneak preview, okay? Ben Rice isn't as young as Cam. He's 27, but at the same time, it's not exactly old either. He just turned 27. Ben Rice had some crazy savant numbers last year, and I think they're going to get even crazier this year. I think we're talking about a guy who that really the question is how good of a defensive first baseman is he going to be? He's already looked really good in my opinion. He looks like notably improved, which they were talking about it in spring training, how he really worked on this in the offseason. So this is a guy that has ownership in what he's doing. And like, I know a lot of people were like comparing him to Greg Bird. I see him as astronomically bigger than Greg Bird. Like, I think this is somebody that over the course of time, you're looking up and like he could be like a top 40 hitter, top 30 hitter in baseball. That's kind of crazy when you think about it.
It's good enough. Yeah, think about what that is. He was called up here in an emergency. We've talked about it a million times.
Yeah.
I would say though, when you talk about typical Yankees hitters, and really the reason that I almost dare I say we've kind of sucked in October for a while now. We have not lived up to the expectations this organization had for themselves. Offensively, I think that's been really our Achilles heel. Offensively, we just simply couldn't trust our offense to score, as your dad would say, Jake, important runs.
Yeah.
Guy on second base, nobody out. Do they make the quality out and put the ball into the outfield for a sac fly or a quality RBI out? Can they do that against some of the game's best pitching? They've proven that they couldn't do it. Ben Rice and the way that he goes about his business, it's not an uppercut swing. More of an old school approach. Looks like a hitter straight out of 2003. And that's a good thing. It's just a little bit of going the opposite direction of what we're typically seeing out of not just Yankees hitters, but modern day hitters. So yeah, proud to see a guy going the opposite way. What's up?
Remember,
see the light bulb pop up.
Yeah, it reminded me. Remember, we were like, he's like Brandon Belt, but he's going to be a little bit better offensively.
Yeah.
He's better than Brandon Belt.
Yeah, he's better than Brandon Belt because, of course, Brandon Belt filled the role that they needed, right?
Yeah, good player.
Pitcher's ballpark. You don't really need a ton of pop. You can slap the ball the other way against a shift. That's sort of what he did. Really good defender. Definitely a better defender than what Ben Rice has been. And I also want to bring up a point that I saw deployed today. It was actually a positive for Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone knew before this game that Giancarlo Stanton had a scheduled day off. They knew this before the series started. And obviously we've talked about what we think about scheduled days off. We'll let it go for another day since it was a great day of Yankees baseball. But having said that, both Paul Goldschmidt and Ben Rice played today. And not only that, considering that they were both in the lineup, both players, regardless of if we saw a lefty or a righty, stayed in the game. And it just so happens, Jake, that Paul Goldschmidt had the biggest hit of the night, a 3-run jack.
Yeah.
So maybe, we talked about this yesterday as well, playing your lineups and delivering your starting lineup based on lefties and righties, maybe you can still use Paul Goldschmidt and Ben Rice in that way, but let the game develop and let them stay in the game. They're both quality enough to take their own at bats. That's what I'm telling you. So maybe when you asked about the defense and you were talking about what that'll look like for Ben Rice, I think the fact that Aaron Boone seems more willing to leave Ben Rice in these games gives him more reps to actually improve over at first base from being a maybe slightly below average defender at first base to being very serviceable for us. He's not going to be a Gold Glover, but if we can get serviceable to the point where we don't have to really worry about him, that's more than enough for what he gives us with the bat.
No, I absolutely agree. I think he can be an absolute star. I'm going to make that very clear. I do. One thing that's really interesting to me, I don't know if he has the pop to do it. He reminds me of a more athletic Jim Thome.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't have the pop. Because Jim Thome, I could see him hit the ball 600 feet out to the street.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he had like 5 or 6 straight seasons with 40-plus home runs. I don't know. Ben Rice looks like he can do that, but I think he's too much of a line drive gap hitter to do that. So, I mean, he might have one year where it all comes together, hits 41. I
think
feel
Brandon
like
Belt's probably the perfect comp. We should just leave it at Brandon Belt because the style is just so similar.
Well, I mean, I feel like his swing is similar to Thome.
I'd have to see that side by side.
Yeah, and maybe it's in my head, like back when I used to watch Thome on the Indians, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel like the athleticism is what gets me the most excited about Ben Rice. He's not like your stereotypical first baseman. The guy has legs. He can move, and yeah, I think it's a big deal. So I understand. I mean, Jim Thome played for freaking years, man. I'm looking at it right now. He played 22 years. He had 612 home runs.
When you just compare people to guys who hit over 500, 600 homers, people go, but
I'm talking about just the swing. You know what I mean?
By the way, I feel like Ben Rice's swing, it looks like it hurts.
It's like
he's
a slingshot
grimacing through the swing. It's
doesn't
it doesn't.
It looks like a slingshot. Like after he's slingshotting the ball. And well, I mean, this is what I would say to anybody who wants to use comparisons as like the end all be all, right?
Yeah.
If you watch Jazz Chisholm when he gets a hold of one, it looks like Robinson Cano. The swing is almost identical. And if it's not Robinson Cano, it looks very similar to Ken Griffey Jr. Okay. Those are the two
when he misses
swings.
It, he looks like Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah, well, he looks worse. But that's my thing is we're just talking about the swing.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's not everybody. Jake just compared Jazz Chisholm to Ken Griffey Jr. You heard it here first. Tell your parents, tell your grandparents, never listen to this show again. How can you believe, Jake? Jazz Chisholm and Ken Griffey Jr. Yeah, no, I hear you completely. I see it sort of in the swing, but
depends on what juice you're talking about. Because Thome wasn't flying down the line like Ben Rice does.
It's true.
Thome was slow, man.
He was slow. And by the way, we got another 5 for 5. God, you remember? Really appreciate, by the way. Thank you for the broccoli, of course, being a member. Really appreciate. Special thank you to all our members. And of course, those of you who are still taking a look at the Jazz ticker. He is now 50 homers and 48 stolen bases away from his goal of a 50-50 season. He's now 156 games away from doing that. So you better get to work. Obviously, Jake, you did laughingly tell me before the episode that he was caught stealing today and his glove was falling off at first base. I don't know what we call these gloves. His base running glove, his mitt.
The oven mitts.
The oven mitts.
They look ridiculous.
Wonder if there's a rule on how long the oven mitt can be. I would just bring like a
Oh my God.
A 6-foot mid out there.
You
and
you turn into like Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, I would literally be
You
Michael
just-
Jordan and reach
like
across.
the wacky, like inflatable 2-man.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I would do.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my God. Gumby over here.
Jay Spanton, thank you for the 5 for 5. Yeah, we're rooting for this Yankees offense because Jay Spanton comes up big for this podcast if we do.
Yes.
So yeah, really appreciate it. Still have no idea what I'm looking at in that profile picture, but
it's a painting, right?
I'm not sure.
It's so small. I feel old. Like I'm just like
I know the Mona Lisa, and that is about it.
yeah. Well, happens.
The 5 for 5. Back when Happy Meals used to be able to go and get 4 items for $4, and then today I went to Panda Express. They have pretty decent deals over there. So maybe one day we'll get a Panda Express sponsor on top of Prize Picks.
You never know.
You never know. Five Guys would probably
literally
be most
never
ideal
know.
for us. No, Five Guys would be the most ideal. By the way, I did reach out to Five Guys like a year ago, and they were like, "We really appreciate the reach out, but we're not looking to sponsor any baseball podcasts as of now. Thanks for reaching out." I was like, "Damn it."
There was
Would
a
have been
place
great.
in this area. I think they ran a business called BurgerFi, and they actually would
I've heard of it.
Yeah, they would give me like free burgers, like to sponsor my podcast.
Really, BurgerFi was pretty good. Yeah, it's not
Yeah, I
bad.
used to get the CEO, the bacon, like the ground bacon jam on the burger.
Okay.
It was fantastic. Because I'm not like a jam guy. Trust me, I don't like jelly and all that. But like, they like grounded it wasn't candied bacon either. Hate candied bacon, but they grounded the bacon.
Yeah, that's not the same.
No, and I learned that the hard way on a burger, and it was not at BurgerFi. But they grounded the bacon, and it was like this jam, and they put it, it was like Swiss, Angus beef. Oh yeah, it was. They went pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie. And reality
I haven't
set in.
seen them in a long time. BurgerFi.
I think they're gone. But
are they really?
yeah, I think they're gone. But it's so funny to me because reality would set in. I'm getting free burgers for like they're sponsoring like my podcast.
Yeah.
And then I'm eating those burgers at my 9-to-5 job I don't want to be at in a call center. Reality would just hit me. I'm like, people would be like, "How'd you get that?" I'd be like, "Oh, BurgerFi just gave it to me." Like, what? Yeah.
Makes you feel good though when you're getting free stuff.
It does.
Yeah, it's
it
nice.
absolutely does. But the bacon jam, yeah.
Yeah.
And then-
by the way, Jake, I have this written down. I don't want to forget.
Yes,
This is still a baseball podcast.
absolutely. It's not
We
a
have
bacon
some
jam
updates.
podcast.
It's not a Bacon Jam podcast. It's not a BurgerFi, which is an extinct burger restaurant. I don't want to say for sure.
I'm going to look it up, but you go.
Because Sweet Tomatoes used to be my favorite place ever. And I found out, not completely extinct, they had a couple locations in like Massachusetts. And I'm way over here on the West Coast. So devastating news. But
Yeah.
having said all this, we've got some updates on Anthony Volpe and Carlos Rodon. Anthony Volpe began live batting practice today for obviously health-wise, that is good for him. And he could begin his rehab assignment in, according to Yes Network, 2 weeks. Carlos Rodon, who tweaked his hamstring, we were definitely worried about it derailing his comeback here. And we were excited to see what he can do because he's an expensive player for us. We need to see what he can do. We can't just get rid of him. He still threw a flat ground today, which came to our surprise. They're unsure, and that's a quote, about his potential pushback. They're going to take this day by day and see if he's going to have to be pushed back. So the information that we've been given on Rodon is still a wait and see. I don't know how to accept this information just simply because this is what we heard in his first year in the Bronx, where he said, "Yeah, I'm a little banged up. We're going to take it day by day." So it's just one of those things where Carlos Rodon's just going to have to prove to us that he's actually healthy when he gets on the mound. He's not going to really be able to tell us anything.
There were people in the comment section, always appreciate the comments regardless, but there were people in the comment section that were kind of not really understanding what we were saying. We're not out on Rodon, and it's not that we don't believe he can be great. It's just a matter of, do we believe he can stay healthy? And I just don't know. Like, missing that much time, coming back, can he be effective? Like, I think he's got his back against the wall, and it's unfortunate. And honestly, you feel for him because this all happened because he was pitching he's basically going until the wheels fell off. Like, he knew he probably shouldn't have pitched in the postseason, but he was really trying to give it his all to be a part of something. And honestly, I give him a lot of respect for that. But yeah, I have concerns about Rodon. I do. And I think, like, Garrett Cole, who I've always just been like, temper your expectations. He might not be Garrett Cole. I'm starting to kind of lean towards, I think Garrett Cole is going to be like Garrett Cole. What we would expect, maybe not on the full 100% level, but I mean, if he's 90% of that, won't be surprised. I do really feel in my bones this is just a red shirt Rodon year. Like, you might as well, that favorite movie that you couldn't wait for, and then they just announced that, like, it's coming out next year, and you're like, well, it's about to come out next month. Yeah. That's how I'm viewing it. I feel like he's going to be back next year. I don't have a good feeling about this. I give Rodon a ton of credit because, again, I like to be honest here. I like to be honest about where this happened. And this happened because he pitched through that bone chip in his elbow. And he knew, like, he probably shouldn't have. But like I said, he was trying to do what was best for the team. And he felt like that was what was best for the team. And you know what? I agree with him because I don't think the option after him was better. I mean, Schlittler was already starting and Fried was already starting. So who the hell is going to be number 4? I mean, Will Warren didn't look great in the postseason. It was
probably Will Warren, most likely. Or just taking a flyer.
Or Heel, who had been banged up as well. So,
which it wouldn't have gone. Heel going, it wouldn't have worked either.
Rodon made the right decision. He honestly may have sacrificed the following year. And that's what I want people to understand. Don't hate on the guy. I genuinely think he just left it all out there. And, unfortunately, he's feeling the after effects of it, the recoil, if you will.
Personally, I'm not worried about Rodon, and I'll tell you why. I think Rodon's going to be fine. Actually fine.
I hope
think
he's
going to be good. And obviously, we all hope he is. I just think it's going to work. And here's why I think that. What is Carlos Rodon being asked to do? Honestly, guys, look at our rotation. I'm not telling you it's Sandy Koufax and 09 Clayton Kershaw. That's not what I'm telling you. But when you look at who's the ace, is it Carlos Rodon? Is Rodon even in the conversation to pitch a game 2 of the division series this year? Of a championship series, of a potential World Series, if God willing we ever get there? What is he really being asked to do?
He's going to be the 5th starter.
He's being asked to be the number 5 starter. So having said that, how many 5 starters? Just wipe away every major league starter in the league. Look at the Blue Jays. Look at the Orioles. Look at the Red Sox, right? Look at the Dodgers. Tell me what their number 5 starter looks like and tell me how much better they are than Carlos Rodon. And if they are better, it's more than likely marginal. And I'd almost argue Carlos Rodon is actually the best 5 in Major League Baseball. That'd be my argument. And I think the Dodgers may be the only team that you'd say, oh yeah, they probably have a guy they can just throw out there every day where they still would have a guy better than Rodon. Okay. But there have been injury-prone players, right? And you can look at Tyler Glasnow as being one of them. He hasn't been healthy for his career. And what have the Dodgers done? Had enough talent in the rotation to buy him time to be ready for October. Carlos Rodon isn't going to be relied on in October, but he will be relied on to do something and have a role in October. I believe Rodon will be fine. And the only reason I say that, it's not about if I believe in his talent or not. That's not it. It's that we don't have a role for him to rush to. He quite literally gets to sit back and wait for his time. And that's the best possible situation that Rodon could be in. So obviously, Jake, you and I are both rooting for Carlos Rodon. I mean, that's Absolutely. An obvious thing. Everyone in our podcast, everyone listening here is rooting for him because if he pitches like crap, we go home. So everyone's rooting for him. But the reason I believe in Rodon still this season is because of his role. His role is so marginal that there's no possible way that he could feel like he has to rush back. It's completely unnecessary. So I'm going to give him actually some leeway to work this back slowly and be Carlos Rodon that we saw last year in the regular season. So yeah, I'm excited to see October Rodon because maybe we'll see a guy that we can use in a hybrid role to really protect our bullpen. Yeah, I'm looking forward to all of this because this could all go so different. It could go horrible or it could just go amazing to where the Yankees win 99, 100 games because we have all this talent that's actually ready to go.
No, that's definitely fair. Have we gotten all the supers, by the way?
We have not. We have missed this one. So Jay Spanton with the 2, really appreciate it. Allegory
of the Cave. Huh.
Is the pick.
Interesting.
I've never heard of it, but I really appreciate it. And obviously, of course, thank you for the 2.
Yes, thank you for the Baja Blast.
Yeah, could have been a live chat. I would have still seen it, but nevertheless.
Much love, Jay Spanton.
Thank you for the love. We really appreciate it.
By the way, I have breaking news. BurgerFi is still alive.
Where are they?
They're scattered. It doesn't even really say. They're not in your area.
I feel like I last saw them in Florida.
Yeah, so apparently they went under new management and they had a whole restructure of everything, and so they got rid of a bunch of stores, and 3 of those stores were in my area. So yeah.
They're like, you know what? We've realized Jake's only going to 5 Guys. Take him out of there.
Oh man.
Yeah, we've got to work on getting a burger. Apex, we missed your super?
No, we didn't. Baja Blast from Apex. Thank you for the 2. Bold prediction, Rice will be captain after Judge.
You've been gaslit.
I don't know about that one.
No.
I don't know. I'm going to make a bigger bold prediction. I don't know if the next captain of the Yankees is currently on their roster.
You don't know? Okay, well, I can go ahead and answer it for you. Here we go. Yankees roster. We're going to look up the active roster, and I will tell you guys straight away. And of course, I'm not going to name pitchers because the starting pitcher can never be the captain. He's got to be an everyday player.
Mm-hmm.
JC Escara, nope. Austin Wells, nope. Caballero, Jazz Chisholm, Paul Goldschmidt, McMahon, Ben Rice, nope. Ahmed Rosario.
Ryan McMahon at age 37 is the captain of the New York Yankees.
It's ridiculous. The 31-year-old Cody Bellinger, nope. Will Randall Grichuk be the next captain? I don't think so. Trent Grisham, nope. Aaron Judge, already the captain, sells the most jerseys, and Giancarlo Stanton. That's the entire roster. No.
So Ben Rice is actually the only one that could theoretically be a captain, and I just don't see it. And he won't be.
No, he won't be, because the only way, in my opinion, you could be the captain is if you're a generational star. And Derek Jeter was a star. He's a recognizable name where your grandmother's grandmother knows who he is.
Bobby Witt Jr. will be the captain of the New York Yankees.
It has to be a player on that level where everyone knows who they are. Oh, that's the shortstop of the Yankees, and he's the face. Aaron Judge is that. You go to Yankee Stadium, all you see is number 99. That's it. That's all you see. It's amazing how many people own his jersey. I can't believe it.
But, I mean, I see comments. It's Volpe. Volpe next captain. Anthony Volpe will be lucky if he even plays again. Bobby Witt Jr. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get Bobby Witt Jr. Like, I don't know. My thing here is I can't say Lombard Jr. because I don't even know if the bat's ever going to work out. There's too much, there's too many question marks. He's still super young. He's also probably going to be traded for Paul Skenes. I really feel like this offseason the Yankees are going to acquire Paul Skenes, and I don't think Lombard Jr. is going to be around. And I don't think Spencer Jones is, and I don't think LeGrand. I think those will be the top 3 in that package.
I will fly. I will fly expeditiously and help him pack his bags. Yeah, I'll fly straight into LaGuardia.
Just like come right here.
I will parachute down.
Will you turn
land on top of his roof and
will you turn into Shark Bite?
Oh my God, it's the worst video. We have honestly used to hate his videos. Now I love them because they're so bad.
I hate them so much.
Shark Bite.
Yeah, and I don't even know how many people know what we're talking about.
Oh, I promise you, everybody does.
But it's at the whole, it's you just like, yeah, right there. Put your bags right there. Come on down. Here, the first trip to Pittsburgh. There you go. Right there. Right over there.
Yeah. Like I would 100%. Yes. Apex. It would be first. It would absolutely be first class. And I would pack his bags. So yeah, but we don't want to make this too much about Paul Skenes. We already have. Is there anything else Oh, Chef with his dad's stash. Welcome back, boys. Been MIA and busy remodeling, but he lurks. I am really excited about a rotation in Schlitt as well. And more importantly, Stanton getting off to a great start. Stanton getting off to a great start is such a blessing and I guess a curse for all the prospect hoarders or people who get excited about prospects, because Jason Dominguez just has zero role in this organization if Giancarlo just rakes. So
it's
you got to feel bad
for him.
Yeah, you got to feel bad because he's 100% a professional baseball player. He just can't field a lick, so his role can't be to slot in one of the 3 outfield positions. He's too good where you still have to develop him, so he can't be in Randall Grichuk's role. So yeah, Giancarlo Stanton being off to a great start is good for this year's Yankees team.
Yeah,
we did miss this one. Ghost Rider, we really apologize. I saw this, and I was supposed to get to it. Yeah, Jake, go ahead.
Is that the lemon?
That's a lemon.
See, it's 2:48 a.m. on the East Coast, so now I have the orange tint. Like, that's how you know how late it is. It just automatically hits my screen, like the blue light filter. So now I literally can't
telling you it's time to go to bed. It's like you're a degenerate. Yeah, so this is a lemon. Red, which we received one of those this year already. That's a strawberry. I feel like it's not doing it. I feel like it should be blood, because strawberry doesn't give it nearly the type of punch
blood.
That it deserves.
What the hell? Oh yeah, everything should be food, but Vampire over here wants red to be blood.
I just feel like because it's more assertive. $100 is like
red.
That's a bomb.
That's
right. Welkin, it's a steak. Thank you.
Yeah, juicy steak. We're already forgetting. Oh my god, what would we do without Welkin?
Because strawberry was weak. But anywho, Ghost Rider, we don't mean to overshadow you here. Thank you for the lemon. Thank you for the 10 and supporting this channel. We really appreciate it.
We love
guys,
the
if
Abby.
You're still here, an hour and 7 minutes in here. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. And of course, hit the bell icon to be notified every time we're live. After every game, liking the video is the best way you can help support this channel. And Ghost Rider says, salute, gentlemen. Who is it again that does salute? It's literally my favorite thing ever.
What do you mean?
Darvin Ham. You seen that? He was writing a play for the Lakers, and he goes, gentlemen, salute. It's the funniest video of all time.
Oh,
yes, he does.
God.
He was supposed to be writing a play defensively, and they're like, what's coach about to drop? And he goes, boys, working hard. Salute. He's the worst coach ever. It's terrible. I still have no idea why he's in the NBA, but anywho, I digress.
Just like Doc Rivers, motivational speaker.
Yep. Yeah, and he just got into the Hall of Fame, by the way. I'm enjoying seeing how homegrown talent, Cam and Rice, come into their home, probably their own. Maybe there's hope for Spencer Jones. What do you guys think? Jake's already super high in Spencer Jones, and obviously we know why. We've seen all the talent. But I'm more reserved on Spencer Jones. I still don't know if he'll play for this organization, because based on who's on our roster right now, when you're talking about Grisham, right, we already still have Dominguez. We've got players that can kind of fill the role, and the Yankees already have their sights set on some of the players at the top of the market, like Paul Skenes, if he ever becomes available. So maybe we never see Spencer Jones. But yeah, Ghost Rider, I'm with you. Seeing the young talent perform, it's not even so much about the wins and losses. It's also about stop making a fool of ourselves saying we've got great prospects and then doing nothing with those guys. It makes us look better as podcasters and as fans of the Yankees. So let's be thankful for that too.
Hell yeah. No, Ghost Rider, we really do appreciate you. I think the thing for Spencer Jones is I think the talent is undeniable. At some point or another, it's hard to be like, because I see a lot of people that are very out on him. My biggest thing is this: Spencer Jones, if he's not going to be able to show you who he is until he's in the MLB. Okay, he's hitting in AAA, and we've talked about the best pitchers are in AA. So it's not like he's even getting his fair share of like the top competition, because over the course of time, AA has kind of maintained that as like those are the toughest pitching.
He's kind of treading water right now.
Yeah, and he's doing fine, and he's always incredibly, I think, overanalyzed. Here's, in a nutshell, and I'm trying to get better at this because I've been doing a lot of draft scouting for the NFL draft, and I'm starting to do this thing where I do like a summary, like summarize a draft prospect to somebody who's never seen this player. Just give me the brief summary on what this guy does, right? So I have on my, my draft profiles and everything that I've done, I also have a brief summary of what this player is. Like something that, like, if a casual fan, somebody knows nothing, had to learn about this player, what do they bring to the table? This is what it is. My thing for Spencer Jones would be he's going to have 30 to 40 home run pop. He's going to strike out 200 plus times. He's a really good athlete, former pitcher, but because of injury, he's switched to being a hitter. So while he's older, like, he's not necessarily like the natural hitter. Like, he's still learning how to be that guy. But at the same time, he's a really good fielder. And he can play the outfield. He has the size to play first base if he can obviously adjust to that. And he could be a DH. So that right away is, if you give him first base, that's 5 out of the 9 spots in a lineup that he could be, right? So there you go.
Sounds like a player, by the way, that might need some time at the big league level, as you mentioned.
That's what I'm saying.
This is not a player that he can just show up and hit 270, right? Or people are saying, is he going to put the ball in play enough? Put the ball in play more often, where you say, oh, wow, I'm actually seeing a major step in the right direction. That may take 2 or 3 seasons. The Yankees don't have 3 seasons to wait. So that's the interesting part about what's happening here with the dynamic here of what Ghost Rider wrote down. Cam, Rice. The difference between Cam and Rice is they're ready immediately. We didn't say that about any one of those 2 players, that it may take 3 years, right? It may, because we were talking in year 1 about Rice and saying, this actually could work now. This actually could work if they would let it. And we don't really have that to say about Spencer Jones or Jason Dominguez. So definitely some differences in levels to prospects, and we're seeing that before our eyes.
Well, like, why can't he? So Kyle Schwarber has been a heavy comparison to him. They're not the same player, like, size profile wise. I mean, what's Schwarber? 5'11", 229. I mean, they're nowhere near the same profile, but kind of like what he could be. Like Kyle Schwarber, this is a guy that he's struck out 215 times in 2023. Okay. And early on, he had 16 home runs, 43 ribbies in his rookie year. He struck out 77 times in 69 games. And he hit 246 and had 842 OPS. Okay. I don't think that's a crazy stat line for what Spencer Jones could do. Striking out more than a strikeout per game, I think that's absolutely realistic. And I think having 16 home runs to 69 games is absolutely realistic for Spencer Jones. Of course. And on top of that, he can steal bases, which is something that Schwarber can't do. So then you have Schwarber, who only played 2 games in 2016 due to injury. And then 2017, he comes out. This is his true second season. 30 home runs, 59 RBIs. He hit 211. He had a 782 OPS. That to me feels like kind of around what we could get from Spencer Jones. Maybe he struggles, with the batting average early on, but I think he's somebody over the course of time is really going to develop and become a really good player. And my thing is, if I had to bet, if he started this season, let's just say they never signed Trent Grisham, he started this season, he'd have a good year in the outfield. We'd be looking at Baseball Savant. He'd be probably 60 to 70 range for Baseball Savant defense, which we'll take. That's ahead of Grisham, by the way. But on top of that, I think he would hit 230. I think he'd hit 30 home runs. We're talking full season from beginning to end. 30 plus home runs. I think he'd have like 70 to 80 RBIs. I think he'd hit 230 and then an OPS that's a little bit under 800. That's actually what I think. Now, the strikeouts would be over 200. And are you okay with that? And I think that's the thing, is that there's a lot of people that aren't. And to your point also, at some point or another, he has to just play. And the Yankees don't have a role for him. So it is going to get really muddy here, because if a guy goes down with an injury, I think Spencer Jones is enough of a lightning rod here where, I wouldn't be surprised if he caught fire immediately, similar to what we saw with Jason Dominguez. And Like, as long as he doesn't get hurt like Jason Dominguez did, he just kind of rides that wave, and it makes it really tough on, Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman to make a decision, because say like somebody like Grisham goes down, right? Grisham's actually the easy one, believe it or not. What happens if Bellinger goes down?
Yeah, because he's the same mold. Trent Grisham is the guy who, if he hits 220 with 30 homers and plays solid defense or league average defense, the Yankees are like, oh, we'll take that. Cool.
Absolutely.
Like it's expensive for that. That's the mold. What you guys see out of Grisham, where you go, oh, I don't love what it looks like against great pitching, but during the regular season, when you see starters 3 through 5, he can put the ball in the seats. He can go field his position, right? Obviously, Jones can run and Grisham can't. So there are some differences, but he's the easy guy for him to replace. When Bellinger goes down, you're going to really start to see the fact that if a Spencer Jones comes up, or even a Jason Dominguez, you're going to notice the defensive difference between Dominguez and Bellinger very quickly. Just the same way you're going to notice the contact difference between a Bellinger and a Spencer Jones. It's really going to tick off a lot of Yankees fans, because I promise you, this style of hitter is not what the Yankees are prototypically looking for right now. It's not what they're looking for. There's a reason why Cody Bellinger was a must re-sign, because of the style that he plays. The Yankees couldn't miss it. Juan Soto was a perfect fit for the team because of his style, being a contact first player. So yeah, it's an interesting spot. This super chat pretty much rides right into it, Jake. Dre 1304, thank you for the broccoli and the 5. Thank you for supporting the channel. Says, if Grish struggles into the All-Star break, I see him traded. Jake, you brought this up a few days ago. Can see him traded, dropped. You talked about that contract, perhaps opening a path for Jones if he's raking. Jones has to rake for there to be a situation where they actually believe in him in the short term, not long term, but in the short term, in high stakes situations down the stretch in a pennant race, because that's what we're trying to do here. He's going to have to do a lot to steal a position, even in the case of injury.
Yeah. I mean, like, look, it's not going to be perfect. Another thing I'll say about Spencer Jones is that I think the 200 strikeouts is a total estimate, and it's honestly being over the top. 200 strikeouts is a lot.
Yeah, like, that's nobody, like Mark Reynolds-esque.
Yeah, nobody on the Yankees has had 200 strikeouts since, I mean, I'm all the way in 2022 here. 2021.
Well, Joey Gallo would have if we let him.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking now down to 2018 here, and that's the last time a Yankee had 200 plus strikeouts. It was Giancarlo Stanton, 211. So, I mean,
he struck out 211 times.
He struck out 211 times in 2018.
That's
then
horrible.
Judge struck out 208 times in 2017. Since the Yankees have not been close to having a 200 strikeout batter. So I just don't think the league is like that anymore. Like you're not seeing that.
Someone said Judge is on pace. Aaron Judge is on pace. He'll strike out 400 times this season.
Curtis Granderson in 2012 struck out 195 times,
which is a downright travesty for his body style.
Yeah, it made horrendous. He's actually very similar to Jazz Chisholm. It's funny because also Curtis Granderson got like into this like I want to be a home run hitter, thing. When you looked at him, you're like, this dude could steal 50 bases if he wanted to. Like, why is he trying to hit home runs? Why is he like, if you get on base more, like it'd be fantastic. But like he definitely changed his profile. And like you watch him like with the Tigers, dude was so fast. Steal bases, get doubles, triples, all that. But then all of a sudden he's like, you know what? I want to hit 220 and hit 40 home runs. And it's like,
have you ever seen another player? Can you even think of another player who changed his profile in the middle of his career? Where he's just a pure triples alley, Detroit, Comerica Park. I'm going to hit 20 triples. I
have one for you.
Name one, please.
And it was because of steroids. Rafael Palmeiro.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Because, well, think about it. He was a doubles hitter, right? Off as... So it absolutely does count. Because he was a doubles hitter, skinny doubles hitter, would steal bases, really good athlete. Then he starts getting on the juice, and he's like, he's big and
I don't really
buff, and
count it
he's
because
hitting.
Barry Bonds was the same thing. Barry Bonds was still a Hall of Fame player in Pittsburgh, but he
Yeah,
was hitting a lot more doubles, and then all of a sudden his doubles started going in 60 feet into the
All right,
water.
all right. Let's look at Bonds, because I think here's the thing. Bonds still he hit 33 home runs in 1990, right?
That's not even the same thing. That's literally, he hit half the amount of home runs. 33 home runs. The difference between 33 and 73 is ridiculous.
I'm telling you, Rafael Palmeiro is the perfect example here.
No,
Gary,
I agree. But if you gave Michael Young steroids, he was like the perfect doubles hitter.
Yeah, but
Didn't have home run
Palmeiro,
power. If you gave him steroids, he'd probably hit home runs.
so
honestly.
in his first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons.
Oh, Barry?
No, Palmeiro.
Oh, Palmeiro,
14 home runs was the most he'd ever had in a season.
Yes.
So like he changed his entire game and wanted to be like it was so insane to me. Well, obviously the fact he's 36 and hitting 47 home runs, right? He had more home runs than Reggie Jackson. Rafael Palmeiro, the guy who was known, dude, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's like one of those things.
It is
like,
very stupid. So I think people do understate, because they're like, steroids don't make you hit home runs. I'm like, well, they sure help, because you can't. People are like, you can't teach that bat speed. I'm like, I get what you're saying, and I agree.
Yes,
from the contact perspective, like Barry Bonds is still the greatest hitter I've ever watched, but
I mean, Bonds
you're
still
getting nowhere near this production.
No, I agree, but like,
this is crazy.
That's not. But again, going back to what we were talking about, changing your entire profile. Like,
yes.
Barry Bonds was like the definition of a 5-tool player. Like, he still hit 33 home runs.
30
in the
home
90s.
runs, still a lot. Yes, it's a lot.
That was like enough to be in the top 10.
Yeah,
Palmeiro.
It would just be like watching Jazz Chisholm go from hitting. How many home runs did Jazz hit last year?
40 something.
It would be like if Jazz hit like 83 homers next year.
I'd
be like, what the hell? Like, he's a power hitter, but he turned into like a blitz, like slugfest character. Like, it's just not even a real thing.
It's just bizarre to me though, because like you have guys like Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire. See, these are guys that can hit home runs. Barry Bonds can hit home runs.
Yes.
Palmeiro is literally the example of what you're saying, because Palmeiro showed you he couldn't hit home runs.
Like Derek Jeter was like a 12 home run a year guy, and if Derek Jeter turned into a 45 home run guy,
you'd be like, you'd sound the alarms.
Jacoby Ellsbury, and now you're a 4-hitter.
Jacoby Ellsbury randomly had that like 30 plus home run season,
right?
And then you're like, where did he go? I mean, Red Sox fans were calling him Juiceberry. Like they even were like laughing at it. They're like, this is ridiculous. It's like the way I see it with Palmeiro with the 14 home runs to get to 47, which is absolutely asinine. It's like the whole meme, like, yeah, can I cheat off your test? Yeah, just don't have all the exact answers and make it look obvious, like change it up a little bit, and then you just hand it in. It's like the valedictorians thing is exactly like your thing. It's like
exactly the same.
This dude was a C+ student the whole year, and now all of a sudden I'm supposed to believe that he just got an A on the final exam.
Jose Caballero has 18 career home runs in 1,000
Jose Caballero,
if he hit 50 home runs, it's a profile change.
Oh, well, I mean, he doesn't need to hit 50. If he hit 30, it'd be like, what the hell?
How many home runs would Caballero need to hit where you'd raise the alarm? I'd say 20. I'd flip.
I don't know. The Yankees, I mean, playing at Yankee Stadium, it's different. I would say 30. It would be like, what? By the way,
Jeters, I agree. I won't put it up on the screen, but I agree.
I have one for you. Okay.
Who's that?
Chandler Simpson. This guy has 0 home runs.
Okay.
In 464 plate appearances with Tampa. If at any point that guy hits 10 home runs, sound the alarm. Like there's something going on. Like, because you don't just go from
over
0
the wall in 450 at bats. I'm not saying that hitting in baseball is easy, but my God, get some work in the weight room, my guy. That's insane.
Devin's like, if he hits 5, he's juicing. I mean, come on.
No, seriously though, if I saw him hit 12, guys, I don't think you realize the scope of the situation. He's hit 18 home runs in 1,007 at bats. That is 2 seasons worth.
I honestly sounded the alarm when Brandon Phillips randomly had 30 home runs in the season. I was like,
at least Cincinnati is just a dead hitter's park. At least we'll give him that.
Yeah, but it was funny. It was he starts off his career 6 home runs, 17, 30, 21, 20, 18, 18, 18, 18, 8, 12, 11, 13, 11, 2, and 1. But yeah, that 30 just comes out of nowhere, and you're like, Brandon Phillips hit 30 home runs? What?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Welking throwing Cal Raleigh under the bus.
Too soon.
I don't think I've ever, by the way, I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't think I've ever seen a professional athlete who had like literally a nickname based on his ass. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, that's where we are. It's kind of the Twitter aspect of fandom.
Yeah, I mean, because Big Unit was cool, right?
With
cool. Randy Johnson. The Big Hurt, Frank Thomas, that was cool. But no one was like, yeah, the big ass. Like, you know, like no one had that. You know what I mean?
Big dumper.
Yeah, the big dumper.
The
like,
big
wow.
dumper.
Congratulations. Your nickname
we've gotten
is
very comfortable in today's world with that stuff. So yeah, it's the big dumper.
Historians
wild nickname
that have passed away. Can you imagine if they're like, wait, he's called what? Like you had like the Babe, right? Like, and now also it's Big Dumper. Like, wow, it is totally a sign of the times. That to your point, it's a cultural shift. I don't even know. It's
TikTokers are taking over.
It's the age of like everything outside is just, it's a TikTok world. That's what it is.
Right. It's marketable for the young.
Yeah.
And that's just sort of what it's designed for. I'm not here to cry about Cal Raleigh having the nickname the Big Dumper, but
no, I've never seen anything like it. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like,
no. By the way, was there anything in the game today that stuck out to you that you wanted to discuss? Because obviously Cam deserved a ton of credit. Paul Goldschmidt, by the way,
won the game.
38 now? Officially?
Goldschmidt won this game.
Yeah, is he 38?
I believe he is 37. Yeah, 38.
He's 38 years old. He's in that Carlos Santana age group that we were talking about that we should never sign a player at. And remember, we talked about, should we bring him here to the Yankees to give him that 1-year flyer? This was before Paul Goldschmidt ever showed up here. And I said, God, no.
Yeah.
But to be fair, he wasn't going to be playing in this hybrid role, right? We didn't know the Ben Rice situation was going to kick down the road the way that it did. But having said that, Paul Goldschmidt still got some juice left in the tank. So like I said, I like the pickup from the very start. I want to see what Aaron Boone does to deploy it. So far, so good. We've seen Ben Rice out of the lineup, here and there. Having said that, he's also left Ben Rice in the lineup and not tinkered too much with the pinch hitting opportunities. They're using Goldschmidt and Ben Rice in a really good way. And thank God. I saw it. I literally saw it on Prize Picks earlier today. Paul Goldschmidt was a plus 680 to hit a homer. And I was like, no, that wouldn't be the right play. He does not hit righties. An inning and a half later, he just goes 50 rows deep to left field.
Yeah, I really like watching him. I like him in his role. Like, I'm glad we're not just, oh, well, Ben Rice has been hitting well. He's almost doing too well. Let's give him a breather. You know what I mean? Right. One thing I wanted to point out is the bullpen. I think we got to have a discussion about this bullpen. It's starting to feel like David Bednar's being a little bit overused right now. I understand these are close games and you need your closer. And I know we gave Boone flack for, Blackburn. But I mean, we weren't saying to put in Bednar. We were saying to put in, what's his face? Hill. Yeah. So now you see, Duvall looked like he was really starting to feel it. Like he's been pitching a lot lately. And Bednar had to go 40 pitches. That was brutal, man. They just kept fighting him off, and I just don't think he had his best stuff because I think he's kind of tired right now.
And we're playing a tough Marlins team who's off to a really good start. I'm not really sure what to make of them.
5-1. Yeah.
They're 5-1. Sandy Alcantara, apparently the trade would have been great if we had made it last year. But having said all of this,
the 3 teams that are 5-1, top teams in the league, just like everyone predicted, the Yankees, the Marlins, and the Brewers. And everyone did predict the Brewers because you know what? The Brewers never die. They never die.
They'll never die.
They do not die.
My kids will see them be great with no talent. Not no talent, but they're not going to be the sexy team every year.
They're going to win 100 games, go to the postseason, and not do a single thing.
No. The Brewers will do absolutely nothing. Nothing. So
sorry for the Brew crew. The guy who joined our channel yesterday.
The cheesehead. Yeah, he gave us a super chat and everything. We really appreciate it. But having said that, the Brewers are going nowhere in October. And I'm not saying we are, but I know you aren't. But having said all of this, I agree with you. The group's a little bit overused as far as our bullpen, but the interesting part of it is the pitch count that we designated to start today's game almost teed it up. Cam Schlittler gave us length. That's great. And he couldn't have been more economical to get to the point that he got to. And had it not been for that pitch count, he'd have been able to go 8, maybe even 9 innings.
Absolutely.
So having said that, the Yankees sort of knew we've got a decent bullpen, but we've got a decent bullpen when they're all ready to go. When Doval hasn't pitched 2 of the last 3 days, right? When Bednar hasn't thrown 3 of the last 4 days, and you had to work some off days there in between, then the group's good. But when you have to go off schedule with this group and say you wanted to say, all right, we used Doval a couple days ago for 1 out. Jake, you said we shouldn't use him at all, but let's just say they didn't. Yeah. Now using him today works. But having said that, what if you didn't use Doval? Do you love the options still that come in? Not really. It's just probably another option that may or may not work. And based on how this game went today, the Yankees couldn't afford to lose that game. They couldn't. If they had blown that game, not that it would have ruined the season, but it would have absolutely dampened all of the momentum they built on the West Coast.
I agree.
Regardless of if they were 4-2, which is still a great record out West to start the season. But it ruined everything we would have thought about today's start, today's team. And Aaron Boone, I think, saw this as not a must-win game, but this is not a game we can play around with. And before you know it, you're forced to throw Bednar out there. This is the negative side effects of having a pitcher deal with an injury in spring training. It forces you in a way to overuse your bullpen early in the season. And it leads me to believe that if this is the way the Yankees are going to use the rotation, they need more talent in that bullpen. It doesn't mean Bednar's not good enough. It doesn't mean Doval doesn't have a role in the 8th inning or even the 7th. It means you need more depth in your bullpen. That could mean Legrand. It could mean Heel. You're going to need more talent over there so that in the off chance we've already overused our guys and we have to go Bednar or Doval and we can't anymore, we need somebody else that doesn't look like Hill, right? That doesn't look like some of these guys that quite literally would have blown today's game if we didn't go with our high leverage guys. So yeah, I like our bullpen. I don't love the depth. So they're going to have to figure out that.
I'm going to hit you
and fast
with why. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, because didn't the light bulb go off? Like, wait a minute. The Yankees only have 4 starting pitchers. So that means they have an additional bullpen guy, and yet they're running out of arms? What's going on? Well, obviously, it's Boone's habits, but there's something deeper than that. And I want to see if anybody in the chat, yep, there it is. Welking said it best. Winquest does not exist. Cade Winquest, who was awful in spring training, was the guy, the Rule 5 guy that they picked up. He was flat out, I have his numbers. You ready for this?
He fills the water jug.
I don't care what anyone says about spring training. This matters to me, Gary. 9 appearances, 10 innings pitched, 13 hits, gave up 9 runs, right? 3 home runs, and a 1.70 whip, okay? And obviously a 7.20 ERA. Somehow that dude is on the roster over a Heel, over a Legrand, and they don't even trust him to pitch. He hasn't pitched.
Have you
It's
seen that
been
meme where it's
6
all the army
games.
guys and they're standing at the door ready to kick in the door?
He's
and there's
the clown.
Like four.
He's the clown. I'm
four guys
sorry.
back.
I'm
That's
not
what it
rooting
is.
against him. I'm just calling it like it is. He shouldn't have made the team. He made it because if he doesn't make the team, then now he becomes waived and it's the Rule 5, right? I don't give a rip. Let him go.
Yeah, that's a mistake. Yeah.
That's the one thing. You don't want one mistake to beat you over the head the rest of the year. How long is this going to go on? Because here's the thing. It's been 6 games. The Yankees clearly could have pitched him in one of these games, and they didn't even bother. Okay?
Yeah, when your starting pitcher has a pitch count, you should be seeing, especially early in the season, we haven't thrown a single pitcher over 90 pitches.
You don't
A
have
single starting
enough
pitcher.
spots to just stash a guy.
not
You don't
great.
have a practice squad like the NFL.
And by the way, I do Pablo Reyes. He's the Pablo Reyes of this year. No, Pablo Reyes still played.
Yeah.
We saw Pablo Reyes. So you can say what you want about certain players on the roster and be like, he's not good enough. He's not giving us enough output. At least we put him out there. If you're going to put someone that's not good on the team and you're going to be wrong about him, you better at least put him on the field so I can show you how wrong you are. Don't just hide him in the bullpen so you can fill up people's Gatorade. That's a waste of space. And
this is just Cashman's ego with Lose Quest. Oh God.
Lose Quest. Dude, it's the worst name ever. We need to sign Brooks Kriske back to this team. I think he's got a spot.
Win Quest next captain. I'm done with you.
Yeah.
All right, but you get what I'm saying? I actually think that is an issue. Okay, you have an entire spot. I don't care that it's this early in the season. You have an entire spot. Boone is handicapped in the bullpen because he doesn't trust this guy that Cashman's clearly force feeding him. He's literally handicapped
in the Miami
bullpen.
series, or do you think we're just gonna freeze him like he's like Walt Disney? We just have him frozen in a refrigerator.
He's just gonna be bullpen. Han Solo, right? He's just gonna. You ever see that?
I hope we see him to some degree, just so we can see what we're looking at, instead of criticizing a player who literally probably could just enjoy his tenure, not even dressing out. You could just wear a pullover. So yeah, I do want to see what he's working with and why the Yankees saved him a spot on this roster, because it can't be for nothing. I'd like to at least believe there's some wheels spinning in the front office. I'd like to at least hope. So yeah, very happy about the start for the Yankees. But yeah, looking over the long-term health of this team and how this is going to work out, starting rotation's been brilliant. Still really like our bullpen. I know people aren't as high on Doval as I am, but I believe Doval can really work out if he's not going to pitch 75 innings this year. He shouldn't. He should be throwing anywhere from 50 to 60 innings, and we should have enough arms where when we're in a tight spot, we don't need to go Doval, Bednar, Hill, right? Cruz, the same cast of characters over and over and over again. I think we have enough ammunition in our system to pull the trigger. This may be something, again, that we've got to solve at the deadline. And it's not what you want.
As Jojo already say, it's not what you want. Brian Hoke said the Yankees won last night's game by 5-0 score. Talking about the previous night. Aaron Boone said if the Yankees scored another run, Cade Winquist would have seen his MLB debut. So 5 runs.
Hey, you were gonna pitch. You were gonna pitch, but the game was within a touchdown, and so we didn't put you in. Sorry.
Like what? So look,
tough quote.
I know
parents reading that.
He can hit 100. I know his velocity has continued to go up, right? But at the same time, like, you know, in spring training, but he didn't have good results in spring training. And Yankee Source, which is probably one of my favorite Yankee Twitter accounts, this is exactly how I would put this. By the way, this was March 31st. Okay, it's April 2nd now.
Right.
The WinQuest ad is like carrying Marcus Stroman on the playoff roster. If there's no lane to pitch him in the first 4 games of the regular season, he shouldn't be on the roster. Heel will replace him soon enough. I couldn't agree more. I don't really think this is going to last very long. They're probably going to like let him pitch because the Yankees, it's early in the season. They're going to have a game where the offense just goes on a tear. It's going to be like a barn burner. and he's going to come in and try to protect like a 7-run lead, right? And I mean, he's gonna get a chance to pitch, but I'm gonna be honest, Gary. This is doing too much. This is doing way too much.
Role, by the way, we're kind of looking for output on a day-to-day basis. We're not expecting the last guy in our bullpen to pitch every day. That's not the point. But we're essentially saying, is there somebody on the roster in our bullpen that we don't use every day that you could actually see filling in for a day? Like, could you imagine Winquest coming out there for Doval today? He would have given up the whole game. And that's kind of our point. So we're not saying that you don't trust him in an 8-run game. I would trust Spencer Jones to pitch in an 8-run game. So they have to be a little bit realistic here. Toronto, Jake has put this up on the screen, says Cashman found a new infatuation with this new Rule 5 guy since Volpe got hurt.
That is...
yeah. Smartest man in the room.
You're right. You hit the nail on the head. This is Brooks Kriske 2.0. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, he's the human victory cigar. I think Brooks Kriske is the guy. Yeah, he was the human victory cigar. For the
who was it last year?
The human victory cigar? Who in our bullpen if you saw him? Who was it?
Tyler something?
Tyler?
Yes.
Tyler who?
He was the human victory cigar last year. Oh my God, Tyler. They put him in and he'd just get eviscerated. It was, I can tell you right now.
I don't remember a Tyler.
Tyler Matzik. You don't remember him?
Lefty. Yes.
Yeah, you literally coined the term
Brave.
Human victory cigar with Tyler Matzik.
Yeah, and I tried to pipe it down a little bit. He follows me on Twitter. I don't think he does anymore. He probably saw the pod.
Yeah, he probably was like, all right, well, this dude's not very nice.
Whoops.
I mean, Ian Hamilton had like a 6 ERA last year. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, that was Stroman. Okay. Who was the other one? Oh yeah, Clayton Beater got roasted. Jake Bird.
Clayton Beater.
Dude, I'm looking. Pablo Reyes pitched last year. Oh my God. Do you remember when they put in Geoff Hartlieb? They had this like Jeff Hartlieb, but like it was spelled Geoff.
Nope.
Yeah, so they had
all right. Blind spot in my coverage. I have no idea who that is.
Wow. So okay, Yeri De Los Santos, he's still in the minors. Honestly, he should. How is he not on this roster? But like Cade Luzquest is. I don't know.
Someone said, "How do you confuse Hamilton for Stroh? They don't look alike." It reminds me of that. Reminds me of that video. They're like, "What happened?" He's like, "Where's what is his name? Josh Bell." He's like, "Let me look him up. I wonder what he's doing." He's like, "What happened to Josh?" He's as black as can be. That's not Josh Bell from Disney.
I'm done. It was the stat sheet. It wasn't like I was looking at the guy. I was like, oh, my bad.
Looking at the pictures, to be
my
fair.
bad. So Stroman. It's the chain always gets me.
Yeah, you've never seen Hamilton and Stroh in the same room.
Rico Garcia pitched last year for the Yankees.
Rico Garcia. I remember that.
Yeah, Rico Garcia, Tyler Matzik, Jeff Hartlieb, Javian Sandridge.
Don't know who that is either.
Hey, what happened to Austin Slater? Do you remember the Yankees? Like, the Yankees are all in on Austin Slater. They just never signed him. I don't know. But yeah, who else? Pablo Reyes. Oh yeah, remember when Alan Winans? I was like, yeah, he's pitching really well. He got obliterated. And then the last one I'm gonna throw out there is Ottavino.
Oh yeah, Alan Winans is the guy. I saw his stuff, and I told you he won't be good regardless of what you tell me.
You did. He doesn't
throw hard enough. I said he throws 91. This guy sucks. And the reason I know that is because guys never throw 91 unless they're submarine, and there's a reason for that.
Or you're Nestor Cortez, and you're just really good at mixing it up.
Absolutely. There's always room for the Cueto, Nestor Cortez angle, and that's what makes the game so great. is that you can all play it differently. But if you're a prototypical way to throw the ball, you're not throwing 91. So go ahead and just pack your bags. This is not going to work.
Adam Ottavino literally didn't give up a run, and they're like, not good enough DFA. And then he retired, and he became a content creator.
Yeah, there's a lot of professional baseball players or athletes in general becoming content creators.
Yeah.
It's wild. No.
Phil Matone.
Jake, it is 3:30 in the morning Eastern. 250 people in here. Really appreciate the audience.
I typically
tonight.
go to bed in about 30 minutes, so.
Yeah. So this is definitely a later night than normal. This rarely ever happens. We had stuff going on, so we had to account for it. Obviously, prepare for the. It
was
whole
my girlfriend's birthday, so
yeah. So yeah, we had things to do. So yeah, we really appreciate obviously all of our audience. Jake, is there anything we want them to drop in the comment section after tonight's?
Oh man, Brooks
hell of an outing from. Yeah, Hyde, welcome in. Really appreciate it. I wouldn't say welcome. You've probably been here. But yeah, drop Brooks Krisky. For those of you who remember that name or care to remember that name, there was somebody else that was a human victory cigar. I'll figure it out.
Oh,
but yeah, Brooks Krisky.
Sidearm?
I don't think he was sidearm. I thought he had red hair.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I'm going to find it. It was on
Hold
like the 2023 Yankees. Just before we started our podcast, because we started this pod in the winter of 2023, going into 2024.
Do you remember Tyler Lyons?
No.
Yeah, he was
2023
with
Yankees.
Steven Ridings. He was another one.
I remember that. Okay.
So here's Luis Sessa. I did not like him.
Well,
I did not like him. Gallegos. No, I'm looking for the guy and I can't. Yes, I found him. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Jason Shreve.
Yeah, he was just an absolute barnyard explosion. Total waste of time. Horrible.
He played for the Yankees for 4 years, and he actually had a pretty good first year, 3.09 ERA. I mean, I'm not saying it was amazing, but
no, that'll play.
Then he had a 5.18 ERA, and then 3.77, and then 4.26. So I just remember my all-time least favorite is Boone Logan, because I just remember distinctively as a kid, Boone Logan would come into a game with the bases loaded, and he'd give up all the runs every time, and I'd be like, and then they would be like, his ERA, Dalos meatballs. Oh my god! But
I'm grinding my ass off to figure out who this guy is. By the way, for this pod,
do you remember Boone Logan?
Well, yes.
So Boone Logan would have
I found him. Oh my god.
Who is it?
Biggest human victory cigar of all time. If you saw this guy, just know the game was a wrap. Nick Nelson.
Nick Nelson? I don't even know who that is.
Nick Nelson used to come into the game and just be a total waste of time. You don't remember that?
No. Jason Shreve, I remember. Brooks Krisky, I remember. I don't remember Nick Nelson.
Does anyone remember Nick Nelson? He was on the 2021 Yankees. When he
remember
came in the
my
game,
guy,
he had
Sean
great
Chacon.
stuff. 99 miles an hour, he gets shredded. Absolutely shredded.
Aaron Small and Sean Chacon, Tanyan Sturts. Let's go.
Yeah, see, at least we have somebody. We've got someone here that remembers.
Every year has another Tanyan Sturts type. It's funny. All I remember about Tanyan Sturts is his face had just like a giant cut because of the fight against the Red Sox. Like every time I see him, I just see blood on his face. Every time I think of him, I don't even think about him as a pitcher.
I thought you were going to say he had a birthmark. I was about to cut your mic.
No. He had a cut on his face because he fought. Was it Pedro Martinez? It may have been Jason Varitek. I don't remember. It was the
Nick
one at
Nelson
the stadium when they threw down Don Zimmer.
Oh, okay. That's a while back. Yeah.
And I just remember I was like, who the hell's Tanyan Sturts? Like It looked like he just got like shot in the eye. Like, just, like and as a kid, I'm like, so that just stunned with me. I was just like,
well,
Tanyan
now
Sturridge.
no wonder I didn't know who that was, because this is I was thinking like the last 6 years. So who did you say to drop in there? It was one of those
Brooks Kriske.
One of those useless relievers. Drop Brooks Kriske or Nick Nelson.
Or
Nick Nelson's
Tanyan Sturridge's blood.
Yeah. Drop those in the comment section, not here in the live chat. Obviously, we do appreciate all of our live chatters. You guys have been great. We're really sorry about the late show, but we had some stuff. Obviously, Jake's girlfriend had a birthday. She had to be born sometime, and it was today. So, yeah, we really appreciate you guys showing up and showing out. Thank you guys for all of our supers in helping support the channel.
Shout out to Prize Picks.
Yeah, shout out to Prize Picks. I still forgot. I still had to look at the screen to see Nick Nelson's name.
We have voicemails.
Do we have a voicemail?
We have 3.
Oh yeah, but of course. Well,
yeah,
we're men of our word.
Yes,
let it fly. And I'm assuming Guy has a voicemail because he's right there.
Yes, Guy does have a voicemail. Yes.
Yep. Drop it in.
Yeah. So I just have to bring up. We'll just do this. I'm just gonna.
Wife's asleep anyway. So what's another 20 minutes? Let's roll.
I'm with you on that. All right. Cool. So we got the active roster of the New York Yankees. Just so
in a voice that'll magically pop up. They're like, wait a minute, here's the Yankees roster, and then there is Guy's phone number.
Yeah, because I'm not doing that. So rare here, Guy actually was beat out by Kyle Malay. So we'll see what Kyle Malay has to say.
That'd have been my guess.
You probably can't hear that.
We absolutely cannot.
Oh, I love technology.
Hey
now
guys,
it seems like
Kyle
it's going to hear.
Great game by the Yankees today. Max Fried was awesome.
Wait, Max Fried.
3 shutouts in 5 games. That's awesome too. Our pitching has been great. We gotta get Aaron Judge going. I'm not worried yet because he always starts.
This happened
slow,
today?
But luckily,
it says today, Wednesday.
But yeah, let's all have a good night and let's go beat the Seattle tomorrow too. Go Yankees!
They're not playing Seattle tomorrow.
Today was Wednesday. I know for a fact today was Wednesday. I know it's Thursday technically now because we're in the middle of the night.
But do you think maybe he was just leaving it like after the fact because we were gonna read it at the end, or we were gonna play them at the end? Maybe he wasn't able to do a voicemail for today, but like wanted to do one just in general because we're gonna play them at the end of the series.
I don't follow.
Well, anyway, appreciate you. All right, it's Guy time.
Hey everyone, I always like to leave my voicemail before a game, so here it is.
Love that.
It will be interesting to see if the Yankees can do better overall this year with scoring some runs without a home run. For me, it remains to be seen because they're pretty much the same offense as last year. Trying to figure out what has really made the difference that will continue. Personally, I don't think Trent is a player that will help us at all. He won't bat .235 with 30-plus home runs. In my opinion, he will probably be close to the Mendoza line all year. For those of you who don't know that, that's 200 batting average. And he is no Spencer Jones in the center field defensively either. He's definitely slipped over the last few years. Can the Yankees truly make a change? They haven't really shown it. They were too stubborn to see Verdugo was the worst hitter in the league, thinking he performs well in playoffs. Despite what they say, can you see Volpe being anointed the starting shortstop after a good game? I can. Will they bring up Jones when Grisham isn't performing or trade him at the deadline? I can't say that. It's not like the Yankees. But if they did, that's a change, and perhaps Cashman has learned something and even thinks about trading assets in 2026. But that remains to be seen. It sounds more like Grisham will play the whole year, but we'll see. All right.
Appreciate the voicemail. God, I hate we're all getting old. It's 2026 now. I feel like 2 years ago was still 2018. I don't know where we're at. But anywho,
we're both in our 30s now. Like you're leaving your prime.
Yeah. I'm looking for the contract that'll take me to my age 40 season, and I'm ready to ride off into the sunset with, my service time and whatnot. Yeah. I'm now age where people would be like, no. The other team got his best years. So yeah, we're all getting old. But Guy, we really appreciate the voicemail.
Thank you, Guy.
The point that you're bringing up is Trent Grisham's more so of the style that we're looking to avoid and go in the opposite direction of. The guy that's going to hit 226, the guy that's going to hit 30 home runs. Should we chase that? And Trent Grisham had to have a career year to hit 230 and do what he did last year. Play below average defense, hit 30 plus homers, right? And it still was a good season, so we don't want to gloss that over. But regressing in any way takes us closer to your prediction of the Mendoza line. That's not good enough for the Yankees, especially a player defensively the way he looked last year. They mentioned the hamstring. I personally don't put as much stock into the hamstring as they do because he looks pretty similar now defensively as he did last year. I'm not saying it's anything bad. I always thought he was better than what Savant said. But Jake, to kind of answer the question here, I don't really know how the Yankees are going to answer the bell in the outfield because these are tough decisions for them. Maybe we would have a certain way we'd like to answer it, and we would like it to go a certain way and see what Spencer Jones has got. But there's an aspect of risk that we don't have to deal with by saying Spencer Jones should play, Jason Dominguez should play. Because if Jason Dominguez plays and he botches 2 or 3 games, the next 50 or 60 games for the Yankees, it's their ass, not ours, right? So they're the ones who deal with the consequences there. So yeah, I just hesitate to point the finger and blame the front office as harshly as we are in our outfield. Because if we go with Young, they're more likely to make rookie mistakes and need development time in losing us games in the meantime. Whereas Trent Grisham may not have that star quality we're looking for, but the baseline is not maybe high, but it's much higher than rookie talent. So yeah, Guy, I understand your frustration, but we'll see what it looks like at the deadline because Jake brings up a good point. It's still a movable contract that expires at the end of the year. So there are options for the Yankees. Jake, how are you feeling about this? Because I'd imagine you're somewhat on the same boat as me.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Grisham is more about the team aspect of it, like how great of a teammate he is, how much they love him. If he starts to fall off, he's not like, it doesn't matter how great of a teammate he is. I mean, if it's like noticeable, you have a better option. And honestly, like, Jason Dominguez leaves a lot to be desired in the outfield, but like Spencer Jones, I think right now, if Trent Grisham doesn't, repeat what he did, and honestly, it wasn't like an amazing season, like Spencer Jones is probably a better player than him right now. We would never know that for sure. But I mean, like,
I would agree.
I don't think it's crazy to say that because I remember you singing the praises of Trent Grisham. They acquired him because of his defense.
That's right.
His defense has gone off. Well, let's just say he walked the plank. His defense is now in a body of water. Okay. He's not the same defensive player at all. And like you said, I mean, you want to talk about hamstring and all that. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's partially getting comfortable. That's what I think. And
I've said that for the hamstring injury. We covered it. The defensive metrics were already below average. It wasn't down the drain to the point where he was bottom of the league, but it wasn't to the point where you say, oh, this is a red category.
Yeah.
This is his calling card, and now let's see what he does with the bat. He was struggling with the glove all year.
Exactly.
And then he hit 30 homers, and now all of a sudden we're acting like because he was good defensively in San Diego, that's what he is here.
It concerns me, though, like they're going to be like it's going to come up on Talking Yanks and John Boy's, or not John Boy, but like Boone with them. He's going to turn it down. Like, oh, what do you mean? Grisham's great. He's a great defensive player. He's probably top 5 in the league.
Okay.
And it's like, there's nothing to support that. Nothing. But like, so if they see it that way, it's like they're in charge. There's nothing we can do. So I don't want to see that. Like, if you want to make the argument, okay, Grisham gives the Yankees a better chance to win a World Series than Spencer Jones, by all means. But if Grisham ends up hitting like he did before last year, I'm sorry, I don't think he gives them a better chance to win a World Series than Spencer Jones. I think Jones is a much better outfielder. Much better. He's a way better athlete.
Risk.
So, I think he covers more ground. It is bizarre watching Trent Grisham man center when he's the least talented athlete out there.
To be fair, center field at Yankee Stadium. So I'm going to give them credit for this.
But in Seattle,
position to play.
In San Francisco, it kind of defeats the purpose.
It definitely does while we're there. But for where we are the majority of the season, or at least for half the season, we're at Yankee Stadium, and we're probably not going to move Trent Grisham to, say, right field, the easier position at Yankee Stadium, and then move Judge to a humongous left field, which is much harder to stay healthy. The Yankees have pretty much gotten comfortable with Judge being in right field. They accommodated for Soto because Soto couldn't play center field. So they let Soto play right field where he could be serviceable enough. And we would move Alex Verdugo, which obviously didn't work out, to the tougher position of left field. We didn't care as much if he got hurt. And that's where we are now. Cody Bellinger plays left field. He's our best outfielder by far. And you saw his glove today shine at the wall. He's in left field. So when we go on the road and we play in Seattle, to your point, San Francisco, really tough places to play center field, Trent Grisham, I don't want to call him a liability, but he's below par defensively. And I'm not sure if it'll kill the Yankees. I'm not sure exactly what'll happen down the road. All I know is that that's the strong suit of Spencer Jones' game. So if that's the angle that they have for the value of Grisham, look at your prospect. He's great at that exact same thing, and he's much cheaper. So we'll, I guess, maybe 2 months from now, or in case of injury, we're going to find our answer of exactly how much stock they're going to put defensively in center field. And if they're open-minded to maybe changing course if a player isn't playing up to standard. I have a feeling they will, just because of where we are in Aaron Judge's career and where we are as far as this Yankees team needing to win a World Series. Have to imagine they won't just die on the sword with Trent Grisham of all people. So I'm hopeful. Jake, I will remind everybody, already forgot his name, Nick Nelson, and who was your guy?
Tanyan Sturtz's blood.
Tanyan Sturtz's blood.
Oh, we had another voicemail. It was Ninja Hot Dog.
Oh, last but not least, Ninja Hot Dog, let it fly.
What is up, Yankees Unloaded podcast?
It's not.
So, as we all know, the Yankees have won the series against the Seattle Mariners, winning 5-3 from putting Big Dumper in his place where he should be. Overall, I thought this was a really solid series for pretty much everyone, really. We got Schlittler out there. He did his thing. You got Max Fried. I think the rotation right now is really pulling their weight. Our only loss right now is due to Paul Blackburn. We'll get to that in a little bit. But I thought that was really solid by everyone. I'm glad to see that things are going good for this team, even though we're still early on in the year. And this is how the Yankees always are. It's still solid to see. I'm disappointed. We could be 6-0 right now. But someone thought it was a good idea to put Paul Blackburn in the game for the 9th inning. You know, I said in an earlier voicemail, we signed him on to be our punter. Yeah, you don't use the punter to go for the 4th down in football. You don't use the punter to go for the 4th down. And that's essentially what the Yankees did in that game, which was absolutely ridiculous. We could be 6-0 right now. We could be 6-0. But instead we're 5-1. I hate it. Fire Baboon. Fire Cashman. Fire the umps.
He fired the umps. He didn't miss any of it.
Everybody's getting fired.
Jake, by the way, here's the good news. So Ninja, thank you for the voicemail. First and foremost, we don't have to be perfect. Look around. Obviously, we'd love to be 6-0. It's better to be 6-0 than being 5-1. I think you don't have to be a math major to figure that out.
Yeah.
But the Jays just lost the series to the Colorado Rockies at home. Do you know what would happen to this podcast and our audience right now if the Yankees went to Yankee Stadium, even in March, I don't care when it was, finished the series in April, and you lose to Colorado, who I'll just go ahead and say it, they suck. That team is garbage. Not good in any year the next decade. They will not be good. I don't care what they draft, who they sign, it will not work. And they showed up to Toronto, who cleared far and away was the best team in the AL last year, by far. And they lost a series. So, yeah, Greg, 161-1 is on the table. In all seriousness, the Yankees don't have to be perfect. You have to be better than the second best team in the AL East. And then the goals change to being the best team every series we step into. It is that simple. I don't care if we win 94 games. I don't care if we win 104 games. Our goals change the second we accomplish our first goal. And right now, the Yankees have to feel pleased. We played a really good Giants team. They're clearly not ready to play. More so Seattle. J-Rod sleepwalking out the gate, right? The big dumper sleepwalking out the gate since the WBC. Hasn't been good since. Yeah, this is a situation where the Yankees saw some blood in the water, and we've attacked them for years about not being ready to play against teams that haven't shown up prepared. And we ran into two teams that didn't look ready, and we stepped on their throat. This is a great start to the season. And if you have the expectation for them to win the division and it's unacceptable for them to come out of a wild card, this was exactly the start that they had to get off to. And any change that we want to see with this roster, those changes have to now happen at the deadline. So I'm pleased with what I'm seeing. Ninja, completely get it. We don't want to see low leverage guys in high leverage spots. It's a way to lose games, but we don't have enough depth in that bullpen really to pitch. We didn't have that many options, and that's unfortunate. So we'll see what happens with this Marlins series. Marlins are playing some really good baseball. It seems like we're going to miss Sandy Alcantara, who pitched earlier today through a complete game shutout. So credit to him. But yeah, it's nice to miss Sandy right now, who's apparently rebounded into his Cy Young form. So yeah, we're catching Miami at a lucky time, and it just so happens to be at home.
Yeah, I mean, the Yankees have kind of a sneaky schedule coming up. I mean, you got Miami, then you got the A's. I think the A's are very underrated. I'm not saying that they're going to win it all or anything like that, but they're going to be a tough out. I mean, you look at that lineup, I really think that lineup can give a good challenge to the Yankees. The Yankees in that series are going to have Schlittler on the mound, Warren and Weathers. That's a sneaky, series there. I think the A's could actually take with that offense. So we're gonna have to see. But with the Marlins, off day tomorrow, so you have plenty of time if you're just joining or you skipped around or whatever. You have plenty of time to watch this full episode tomorrow with the off day.
No wonder Boone threw Bednar for 40 pitches. He's like, Bednar will get his night's rest.
I mean, it's still ridiculous, and
then he'll throw 40 pitches when we see him. What is it, Friday? Yeah.
But I mean, you mentioned, right? They're not going to see Sandy Alcantara, but the Marlins aren't going to see Cam Schlittler. So, it kind of goes both ways. Marlins will see Warren, Weathers, and Fried. So there's that. And then you have the Tampa series. And then you got the Angels 4 games set. And you got Kansas City. You got Boston, Houston, Texas, and that ends April. So it's interesting because, I mean, I could very well see the Yankees just rolling here. Like they have a chance to put together like tons of wins here early on and give themselves
probably
a
up to
strong
Weathers
padding.
It's probably up to Weathers to continue some of that momentum because that's definitely a wild card series there. And I want to put this super chat up there. It says, good night, all. Thanks for the late night. Yeah. Is this Pacific time? Yeah, this is a Pacific time show. Izzy, and yes, to answer your question, you can put whichever reliever you want to put in there. I did see your live chat earlier. So appreciate the Baja Blast and the 2 for supporting the channel.
We hit on Dre's super chat. I think we did.
I didn't even see it, but yep, we talked about it.
Yeah.
Yep, we did talk about it. So we got all the voicemails, wanted to make sure we hit on all of those. We caught up on all of our super chats. Guys, again, thank you to Prize Picks for obviously this partnership that we've got going on here in the future. Very appreciative of it. Of course, can't happen without our audience sticking with us at 3, almost 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, almost 4 o'clock in the morning Eastern. I don't know what you guys do for a living. Evidently, everyone's shift starts at noon, but we really appreciate your support in all seriousness. I know Jake feels the exact same way that I do. Enjoy the day off tomorrow. The Yankees bullpen will need it. Doval will need it. Bednar absolutely will need it. You're going to see Tim Hill, Bednar, and Doval fresh, never frozen on Friday. So get your rest, everybody. And Jake, what did you see?
No, I was just like, back to you, Gary.
Jake's doing the newscaster thing. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified every time we go live. And before you go, please, before you leave, hit the like button and help support this channel. Thank you.